The year is 1590. An English captain, John White, is finally returning to his family and friends after a long, grueling 3-year journey.
His eyes are filled with hope. But the moment he steps foot on the shores of Roanoke Island, his world changes forever.
There was no one there. Not his daughter, not his infant granddaughter, and not a single one of the 115 people he had left behind. No footprints, no voices, just a single, solitary word into a tree, Croatoan.
It remains the oldest and greatest unsolved mystery in American history.
How does an entire settlement, including women and children, simply vanish into thin air?
Were they taken captive? Did they fall victim to a deadly disease? Or is the truth something else entirely? A secret that remains buried in these ocean waves, even 400 years later? Our story begins in 1587. Sir Walter Raleigh, a close confidant of Queen Elizabeth I, had a grand vision to establish England's first permanent colony in North America.
The man chosen to lead this ambitious expedition was John.
Unlike previous expeditions, this was not a military mission filled only with soldiers. This time, there were 115 colonists, including 17 women and 11 children. These people were not traveling to fight. They were traveling to start a new life and build a new home. But from the very beginning, fate was not on their side. By the time they finally arrived at Roanoke Island, located in modern-day North Carolina, it was already July. The season for planting crops had passed.
Their supplies were running dangerously low, and they were completely unprepared for the harsh winter that was rapidly approaching.
Amidst these desperate times, a ray of hope arrived. Eleanor gave birth to a baby girl named Virginia Dare. She was the very first English child born on American soil, but the joy was short-lived. The food was running out, and the situation was deteriorating by the day.
With starvation looming, the colonists pleaded with John. They begged him to return to England to gather new supplies.
White was desperate to stay with his daughter and newborn granddaughter, but he knew this was their only chance of survival.
In August 1587, John White set sail for England. He promised his people he would return in just a few months. Before leaving, he established a strict rule.
If the colonists were forced to leave, they were to carve the name of their destination into a tree.
And if they were in immediate danger or under attack, they were to carve a cross, a plus, above the name. But when White arrived in England, the world had changed. A massive war had broken out between England and Spain, known as the Spanish Armada. Queen issued a strict decree. No large ships were permitted to leave English shores.
White was agonizing over the fate of his family. He tried multiple times to secure a ship, but the circumstances were entirely out of his control.
A journey that was supposed to take a few months ended up taking 3 long, agonizing years.
August 1590. After 3 long years, John finally returned to Roanoke. As he neared the shore, he saw plumes of smoke.
His heart leaped with the hope that his family and friends were still alive. But the next morning, when he stepped onto the island,
he was met with dead silence. The most baffling part was the complete lack of any struggle.
the houses weren't destroyed or burned down. They had been carefully taken apart and removed.
It looked as though the colonists had packed up and left, completely on their own terms.
Then, White's eyes caught a wooden post. Carved into it was the word Croatoan. White immediately remembered the rule he had set.
He frantically searched the post for a cross, the universal sign of distress, but there was no cross.
This meant the colonists had left willingly, without being in immediate danger.
Croatoan was the name of a nearby island and the native tribe that lived there, who were known allies of the English.
White desperately wanted to sail to Crowan, but nature intervened once again. A massive hurricane struck the coast, damaging his ship and forcing him to return to England. He would die never knowing what happened to his family.
Centuries have passed, and to this day, experts can only offer theories as to what truly happened to the Roanoke colonists. Theory number 1, the integration. The most widely accepted theory is that to survive the bitter cold and starvation, the colonists moved to Croatoan Island and integrated with the Native American tribe.
Evidence supporting this emerged years later when European explorers noted that some members of the native tribes in the region had blue eyes and could speak and read English.
Theory number 2, the Spanish fleet. Some historians believe that Spanish forces, patrolling the coast, discovered the colony and took the settlers captive.
Theory number 3, lost at sea. Another prominent theory suggests that the desperate colonists built small, makeshift boats to attempt a voyage back to England.
But were ultimately swallowed by the unforgiving Atlantic Ocean.
Today, modern archaeology and DNA testing are still working tirelessly to solve this 400-year-old puzzle. Perhaps one day, we will finally uncover the truth.
But for now, those 115 souls remain lost. They remain lost in the pages of history, vanishing into a place from which they never returned.
Do you think they assimilated with the Native Americans? Or is the truth much darker? Let us know your theory in the comments below.
If you enjoyed this dive into American history, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more deep dive documentaries. See you in the next Unsolved Mystery.